Please welcome Gini Graham to the stage.
I'll take you back to 1982, and I'm 32 years old, and I'm in San Francisco, and I am in the delivery room. So I've got my husband for the last 10 hours coaching me every couple of minutes with his ever-changing breathing pattern so that I stay focused on my breathing and not on the contractions. And so that means I am exhausted, and I'm sweating, and I'm moaning and groaning and throwing up. And finally, the doctor says, "All right, it's time to push." And I stop dead in my tracks. I turned to my husband. I said, "Jeff, I'm not ready to have a baby." He says, "Oh, Ginny, it's a little late for that. We'll talk about it later. Just push." Well, I did deliver and push out a nice, healthy baby Jack, and I loved him right away, and he breastfed easily, which made my life easy. However, I was psychologically absolutely not prepared. I had done everything I could do as a nurse manager, being very professionally responsible, to make sure I was going to deliver a healthy baby, period. Other than that, I was living my life to the fullest. So now I'm suddenly in this new identity and I'm a little lost. So I'm suddenly slammed with postpartum blues. It's an emotional roller coaster of anxiety and fears and out of control. And I'm full of self-doubt, even though things are going well. I'm thinking, oh man, maybe I don't have enough mothering hormones, because a real mother would want to be holding babies all the time. And I never was even like that during pregnancy. My sister called. She was from New Jersey, Mari. She called and said, "Ginny, chill out about this. And why don't you just go to a La Leche League meeting?" I'd heard about it my whole life because she was very active in New Jersey. It's basically a breastfeeding support group. So I thought, heck, I'll show up. Well, I'm only 2 weeks out of work. And so I'm fully into my manager mentality. So I'm thinking of this as kind of like an education conference. So I leave my kid behind. I put on my work clothes, grab a notebook, and go to this lady's house. It's this small, tiny, crowded living room with 10 women sitting all over the floor, babies crawling all over the place, toddlers fighting with each other. The women looked exhausted, like they hadn't even combed their hair, much less probably taken a shower. Certainly didn't put on any makeup. And over all of this, these kids are crying and everybody's nursing or changing diapers. It's absolute chaos. And over all this noise, they're trying to have a conversation with the leader about how do they deal with their sore nipples and their bleeding nipples and their leaking breasts. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done to my life? Well, my old life was only 2 weeks ago. But man, it was exciting. I was in San Francisco, fully involved in the women's movement. And my career as a manager, it was very exciting, active. I never was somebody who ever sat down. So thinking, man, I'm spinning about my identity. Who am I as suddenly a mother? I'm in a role. Well, when I'm in San Francisco, before this, we did everything we could to get out of roles, out of stereotypes. We busted barriers to get women opportunities for their careers. We were not about family life needs. So now I'm in this family life role. I'm a mother trying to straddle with my old self. And my sister, Mari, calls again and said, "Ginny, why don't you chill out about trying to figure out your identity as a mother? And why don't you just enjoy Jack and act like a big sister?" It worked. It's crazy. But so also did my hormones kind of settle down, because I was about 6 weeks by then. I'm finally starting to breathe and sleep a little bit. And my husband comes home from work saying, "Intel is moving us in a week to Hillsboro." Now, as a San Francisco snob, this doesn't go down well. So after a month of living in Beaverton, I'm feeling like a housewife, and a suburban one at that. So I tell my husband I'm thinking I need a little more stimulus, and so we start to bring in some women home from work, thinking that'll help me meet some working women. They were absolutely not interested in me, and I absolutely had nothing to talk to them about. So then my single friends came up from San Francisco, kind of helped me out. So I was so excited they were going to come because I'm going to tell them all about all these cool things Jack can do now, because now he's a couple months old and he can almost crawl, and he can sit up and he's babbling, and he and I can play all these cool little games together, and I'm so excited, and they are bored to death. Absolutely no interest whatsoever. It has nothing to do with their lives, and actually theirs doesn't have too much to do with mine anymore. When they left, I realized that my love for Jack had taken over my life. And when I look at him, and he looks back at me with joy and confidence and curiosity, he fills me up. And then I look at him at 20 pounds or 22 pounds, and I realize all of that weight comes from my body and my breasts. That's a feeling of pride that just takes me over. And it also makes me feel like he and I really are part of each other. It was great. However, I'm also realizing it's been a few months since I've had too much adult interaction. I'm starting to lose a little of my brains. Maybe I'd need a little more stimulus outside the child life. So I start looking for a job. Oh man, then my husband settles me down. He goes, "Oh, Ginny, please, let's just slow down a little. Let's talk about this." I said, "Oh, no homemaker." He says, "I just want Jack to be with you. Can you think out of the box? Can you think of anything you can do to get yourself more stimulated and more satisfied? I just want Jack to be with you." I said, "I refuse to be a homemaker and a housewife." Because that's not what I'm asking. I just want Jack to be with you. So we started talking about the things I love doing. Hiking, I'd love to explore Oregon. So we came up with this idea. Now, I wouldn't really be dropping out of my career if I was given one of those Intel professional sabbaticals, and it worked. Every day, Jack and I would get up, get in the car, go to the mountains, go to the beach. I'd put him in my backpack, and we'd hike all day, and then come home in time for him to sit in front of Sesame Street. It was great. After a couple more months, though, I still needed more. It's like, gosh, I need to be involved in something outside this house. I need to be making a difference somewhere. I need a community. So my sister Mari calls again. "Ginny, try La Leche League again." I said, "Oh, Mari." And she said, "Ginny, your life has changed a little. Give it a try." What I got to lose, so I went. And I loved it. What I saw now was that what I'd criticized 6 months before was now the new me. And what I saw were women who were vulnerable and strong and passionate about their kids. And what I saw was women in a circle. And that circle was women supporting women. And not just about breastfeeding, but about the challenges of becoming a mother, and especially the challenges that society was putting on us as breastfeeding women. You see, breastfeeding was not supported back then. And people were uncomfortable seeing women breastfeed, so we were expected to leave any gathering and go nurse our babies in the back room, the bedroom, the bathroom, anywhere. There was only one place in 1982 in all of Portland where we could nurse our kids. Washington Square wouldn't allow us to breastfeed in the mall. And we couldn't get the word out about this La Leche League breastfeeding support work that we offered free because the Yellow Pages couldn't use that word breast. It was just so bizarre and aggravating to see that this whole realm of women's lives had been left out by the women's movement, seemingly. But what I also saw was that I had some opportunities here, and I had a community, and this might just fill my passions and get me energized. So Lorene was our La Leche League leader in Beaverton. She was extremely skilled with breastfeeding, supporting the moms, but she was an activist as well. So she pulled a page out of the 60s and organized us to do a breastfeeding sit-in at Washington Square. Great fun, and helped them to change some of their policies. Well, over the course of the next year, Lorene had given me all the skills I needed to become a La Leche League leader myself. But Lorene pushed me further. She said, "You got an RN behind you. You got some more clout. Use it." So I started working with the pediatricians, teaching them about breastfeeding because they didn't get any training in med school. Then I worked with the Oregon Professional Nursing Association. We made the first policy statement in support of breastfeeding in the country. And then, since nobody was teaching breastfeeding classes, Lorene and I put one together. Hospital tried giving us some feedback, some pushback, saying, oh, we're handling the mother's needs just fine in the hospital. We really don't need that class. So we gave them an absolute reality check about all the work we do to clean up what they didn't fix. Well, it turns out all that breastfeeding work that I'd done actually helped me maintain my nursing license, so that when I was ready to work, I had my license ready to go. So I am ever grateful that I found my path from being so judgmental to being a passionate promoter of new moms. But I had my mentors. I had my sister Mari, and I had Lorene, my leader, helping me give birth to that mother that was within me. Thank you.